I didn't even test it. I just took it because I know he stood for his word. So, because if there's anything different he said, it's not the same. Well, you know, the grade is not the same, whatever. I didn't get it from the same people, whatever. But when he says, all right, that's all I need to hear. So after that, I didn't bother no more. I always just put it on the floor.
Was it a lot of respect in the game
Sure
amongst
was.
drug dealers?
Sure it was. Say, for instance, a guy that was in, you know, most of them were from down south. The city boys, Lang City boys, they were like some of the kids that I grew up with were real sharp. But when it came to a street game, the southern boys had the, you know, the style and the sense. They knew how to respect people. You know, they knew how to respect the hustlers because that's what they were. But city people, you know, there was a difference. You know, there's a, you know, different, the whole attitude. I'm from the city. I'm working boy, whatever, you know, whatever. But boys from the country, they hustle all the time. That's how they made a living, was hustle. So those guys were the ones I like to do business with. Among, you know, the hustlers, not the people that weren't hustlers. Most of the disrespect came from people that wasn't in the game. You know what I mean? It was like a school. It wasn't a square because I found that people that's working 9 to 5, they're not squares. The ones that's hustling, you know, they ain't making no money or squares. You're the square people. You know what I mean? This man, you asking this man for $2, and then you get mad because he don't want to give you $2. He's talking about you square. But you don't have $2 yourself. You know what I mean? He got the $2 that you're asking for. So I thought about that one day. So they're not really squares at all. They just people that's not knowledgeable about the game, and they have a different feeling or even different attitude towards a guy that's in the game or a girl that's in the game. You know what I mean? But gay people in the game, lots of respect. Say, for instance, I went to prison, and I know you. We did business together. We hustled together, right? And I'm cool. When I'm in prison, I'm have you, some of your friends that know me that's cool, gonna send me an envelope with money in it. If I come out, they're gonna give a big party, right? Put together some money, maybe $5,000 or $6,000, right? To put in my pocket until I get on my feet. That's how hustlers did it. It was just automatic. It wasn't no question. Oh, you know, so-and-so's down. Everybody would give a party, you know what I mean, a boat ride or whatever, to make some money to fund this person when they come out. Believe it. But the city people, please, man. I'm talking about these city people, Atlantic City people, not New York, Philadelphia. Because I was exposed to their game when I went there and met them, you know what I mean? And it's altogether different, altogether different. Please, man. Well, I'll tell you what. The drug game is like any other game. You have to respect it, make some money out of it, and if it's an illegal game, get out of it. It's just that simple. Get out of it.
What was the was it a lot of stick-up kids around that time?
You know, we had a couple of stick-up gangs, and it's the truth. I knew them all. We knew each other, but they had nothing to do. They were stick-up men. I respected that. Look, y'all that's what you do. You stick up people, right? I said one time I went to it, believe it or not, when I found out they was robbing bars because it was hurting our business. Even the coke dealers was, you know, getting hurt because coke dealers hung out where? In the bars, so they could meet their people. It wasn't like straight, they on no street corner. Stay on the street corner, you crazy. We would never do no crazy like that. But anyway, they were sticking up the bars. So when I found out who it was, I went to them. I said, listen, man, y'all just hurting business. Oh, come on, Williams, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Johnny? I said, come on, let's be for real. I respect what you're doing. You stick up, man, that's cool. But when you're hurting everybody, when nobody can make no money, you know, money gets circulated. I said, now listen what I'm going to tell you. Now, I give you a package. You flip this package, you make some money, but you got to stop robbing these people because it's hurting everybody. And the whole point is, people are scared to come out the house, spend their money, and somebody's going to get hurt because you're going to have some fool that's going to retaliate or, you know, do something stupid. Somebody's going to physically get hurt. So we got to stop this. We all know each other. That's your choice. That's what you want to do. But think about it, man. Now, I'm going to give you this package. You do what you want to do with it. Give me the money when you decide that, you know, you whatever, you financially all right, to return my money. But outside of that, you got to stop the robberies. So anyway, they did. Because believe it or not, back in Youngblood, everybody had, you know, good respect for me because I was decent with everybody. I try to help everybody. But you always find somebody that don't like it because of that reason. But my point is they respected me regardless. You know what I mean? And I even had to give them that package. As long as they knew I talked to them and told them about how they hurting the game, you ain't going to make no money, you know. But being a hustler, I know a hustler. When I know people, believe it or not, man, that's my lifetime dream, to just understand people. So I knew they would take the deal. I know it. I had no problem with it. I would never offer it, but I didn't think they'd take the deal.
Was snitching prevalent like it is now?
Not really. Not really. Not really. No. Well, first of all, wasn't too many people going to jail in the cocaine game. You know what I mean? Well, not too, because, like I said, it was older people. Now, when you got big enough and you start getting cocky or arrogant with yourself, right? Just flaunting your shit, yeah, cops came down on you. But outside of that, people didn't know it. People didn't know. people didn't really care. As long as it, you know, it didn't fit with their life, they didn't really care. But then when it got to be out of hand with, you know, it got to be noticeable. Young kids, they were putting young kids, young and young in there. And then that got out of hand when they started establishing a, you know, a foothold in the drug game. Then it got real wild. And then their children that was born, without knowledge about the game, they got even wilder. So here's the game that we have right today, with these kids just running up in the court shooting at people, that as a result of young kids getting in the game without any type of knowledge of, you know, being an adult, being responsible, knowing how to play the game right. So the game got wild. Just like rap, you know what I mean? It gets wild. It gets wild as hell at times.
To a kid today, getting into the game, what would you tell them?
Don't get, if you're in the game, and like I said, I don't encourage none of this for any young kid to do this. You can get a job, go to school, do something to make yourself proud of your own self. Selling drugs, you ain't proud of selling drugs. You know, you like the idea you make money, but you can't possibly be proud of it. Anyway, I always suggest that just what you do. You know, just bide your time, and if you don't feel like you got enough outside information other than a 9-to-5 job that you can get into like an entrepreneur thing, right? You can start your own business. You don't think you got enough? Go find one of your buddies. All three of y'all get together and try to pool your money and get into a business, you know, with your money together. But we don't have that type of camaraderie with each other. Most blacks, you see, they're all different. They're single from each other. They're solidary. You got Muslim boys on the avenue, right? Now listen to them saying, they've been here all their lives. The Indians, the Pakistanis, and I don't have nothing to give them. I'm just only naming them because that's who's in those stores. You understand what I'm saying? They come here and get a store right away. These boys been on the street, in a sense for me, all their lives. Who do you think should be, you know, in line to get a store, if there's a store possible, from the aid of the city or from a bank or whatever, finance company or money institute or lending factor? It don't make any difference. The point is, this person has been a citizen of their country all his life. Why shouldn't he have the chance, if he got a business mind, why do you small business people can't help this man? Now here's a person that ain't never been in this country. They ain't paying no taxes nowhere. They come right in and what happens? But what I'm saying is blacks need to stick together. You know, formulate some type of company, business among themselves and trust each other, because the only way you want to, you know, be successful is that you trust each other. Because look at the businesses around you. But my point is, we don't do that. So, but I suggest that that's what a black person do. If you don't have enough education, where on your job, you don't have a job that's paying, you don't have a position on a job where you're getting a nice salary or a nice paycheck. You have to do something else. If you think you're going to better your life financially, you have to think to myself, what can I do outside of this to make me some legal money? So you think about what you're good at. How about selling items or anything that you can make you money, that you think you can get out without a whole lot of money. You know what I mean? So we don't have that type of ideology about being successful outside of a job. We just go to a job because that's all we know. I mean, that's all we think we should do, and that's the biggest lie I've ever seen in my life. That's a farce. That's a brainwash thing. We could do better, and it was my point in getting into a business where I can fix something nice for us. Because why can't we have nice things? We nice people, and I know there's some people that's not so nice, but the majority of people are nice people. Why shouldn't they be able to go to nice places without being rich to go to a nice place? Go to a nice place where you can sit down and have no trouble, no guns, no argument, no cussing, none of that. Why can't we have those things? You know what I mean? What's the difference? Because we black, we ain't supposed to have those things? We're supposed to have a bar where people shooting and killing people and selling drugs? No. We should have decent places just like anywhere else to go. We shouldn't have to go out of the community. If we do, that's fine. But why not have it here if we can have it here? You know what I'm saying? But we don't have that. We just don't have that, like I said, camaraderie with each other. We rather do it by ourselves.
How was black business back then? Was it a lot of black owners?
It was a lot. We had a lot of. We had a few.
Could you name some of the establishments?
Jeans clothing store, right there on the Arctic Avenue. Bruce's Pool Room. He had other real estate. You know, he had houses and stuff. Ike Williams, Ike Nicholas. We had a lot of black, especially the bars. Most of the bars were owned by a black person.
I remember Club Harlem.
Club Harlem, well, that was a mixed thing. You know what I mean? They had black and whites in the bar.
Was that a good strip, Kentucky Avenue?
Oh, that was a strip. It wasn't a good strip. That was the strip. Anybody that was anybody came to Kentucky Avenue. Even if they just came and stood out front of the establishment. Some of them never even went into the bar because the bars was that packed. You couldn't get into them. So they just, that's why you see them, a lot of them just standing outside. Because the clubs, or the little bars, they weren't really clubs. They were, you know, lounges like. The decent ones you would call lounges like. Anyway, you seen a lot of people outside in the summer, particularly in the summertime, because they couldn't get inside. It wasn't like they were just hanging outside. They were in a sense because they couldn't get inside because the bar